Alright guys, we're going to be doing a little bit of comparison video between this knockoff Unifan pack from Interstellar. It's definitely was using a different name on Amazon. It's called ICOLER Unifan. This is the version 2. And I also do have the Lian Unifan AL120 version 2. Now, I don't know the actual difference between these two. I never actually used the Lian fan whatsoever. I never actually used this one whatsoever. So it's gonna be a first time for everybody, or at least for me. So I'm gonna speed up video to assemble both of these fans, and if I do pop up with some just findings for you guys or anything I need to share with you guys, I'll pause the speed and I'll explain it to you guys. So without any further delay, I'm gonna start continuing assembling these fans. Alright, I fired both up, and if you look at these two fans, they are definitely look quite similar. Obviously these are different versions of the Lian fan. I'm pretty sure one type of Lian fan will actually look like this. So it is for the RGB side of things, is not really apples to apples comparison, right? And you can hear these fans are going, and they're quite loud. So I'm actually gonna unplug the fan headers from these. And I'm just gonna let the RGB going. It's quite loud. So these are running on max speed currently, so you can hear they're quite loud. Now, in terms like assembly and build quality, I say assembly, I would give the points to these cheaper fans, because in terms of simplicity, it is very simple, because you just have to plug in, you know, the little connector on this end, right? And you just plug into the normal fan header and the RGB header and call it a day. Now, in terms of the Lian fan, especially this particular version, they give you this connector. Sorry, not this one. These ones are meant for you to connect between the fans, right? But they give you this fan hub, which you have to use. That, like, I couldn't get it going with my typical connectivity options. You kind of have to plug in every single one of these for the damn thing to work. So I really don't appreciate this thing this way. The only way for me to without using this is actually, I'm not sure if this came with the package. This was an open box, but Lian does have a simplified version of the RGB dongle, which just look like a normal connector, like that. But instead of, you know, going to a hub or anything, right, it goes in like that. This was split off to a fan header and then a RGB header. And typically Lian will have a RGB header that looks like this. And you need an adapter like that to adapt to it for RGB to work, which I already figured out beforehand, you know, how to assemble this. But if this was your first time, you're gonna have a hell of a time getting these Lian fan to work. Mind you, there is a revision. There are revision of these fans are out, and they're a little bit better to assemble. They're just, yeah, they're way better. Now, in terms of build quality, the Lian fan is one step ahead, because as you were like sliding these together, they're just so much easier. And these ones, the cheap ones, when I try to plug them together, they flex, right? They flex quite a bit, and they feel like they're gonna break if I don't line them up properly. And Lian fans are way heavier too, compared to these fans. Now, I don't care for the weight, to be honest. I sometimes I do rather to have the weight a little bit lighter, just because if you build in a very big case or even small case, every little bit of weight counts, because you have to move it around. Because I remember one of my water build out there, the entire build weighs about like 50 pounds, 60 pounds. I can sometimes, it depends on where it's positioned, I can't even lift up. I have to find a way to give enough leverage to lift up the case. So I don't mind having a lighter component in there. With that said, the Lian fans, they do definitely build a lot better than the cheaper fans over here, right? These cheap fans. But with that said, where it matters is actually the noise level on these things. So let's do a quick test. This is not scientific or anything like that, but I'm not going to talk. Okay, sorry. I'm going to get this test going one more time. And I'm going to do this one by one. I'm going to plug in these fans. I'm heading the wind away from the mic, so the wind noise is not affecting the capture of the volume. I'm going to put it probably about, you know, half a feet of at very most, because depends on where you know, putting the fans or your case. You may or may not hear it, but I think this is a pretty reasonable distance for me to measure the dB levels. So with that out of the way, I am gonna plug this in. I'm gonna see how much noise it produces at maximum speed. Okay, it's just about 55 dB. Not bad. So let's switch to the other fan. We're going to plug into the fan header again. So the Lian fans in terms like maximum speed, it's creating a little bit more noise compared to these cheap fans. And let's see from the spec sheet how much CFM they produce. So the cheaper fans produce about 68 CFM, where the Lian Leaf fans produce about 77. So in terms like maximum fan speed, I think the noise and the dB level the CFM and dB level kind of come in hand, because the Lian Leaf fans are definitely, blows more air. Is 77 versus 66, I believe. 68, right? 77 versus 68. So these are definitely pushing more fans with a little bit more dB level. Now, there's one more test I want to do, so I'll be right back. Now, typically, you might want to pair these with a radiator of sort. So let's do that test again with the radiator in between and see how much noise it can produce. Obviously, I'm doing this at 100% fan speed, and with the CFM level, the Lian Li definitely push more CFM compared to, these cheapo knockoff version of the Lian Li fans. But honestly, depends on what your build type is. I think these cheaper fans may be a better option. I don't know how well they will work with the radiator, but I can see the fan blade looks similar, but they're not the same. I would think the cheaper fans it's curved a little bit more. The blade's a little bit wider, but hopefully the cheaper fans will actually push out a little bit more static pressure if I do end up using these. That is something I cannot test. Do they? So these ones do say about 2.97 millimeter H2O of air pressure, and the cheaper fans puts out 2.4. So in terms of maximum airflow speed, the Lian Li fan does provide more pressure, but with definitely a more significant noise trade-off. So let's see how much difference does it actually make on a radiator. So one thing to note, these fans does make quite a bit of more blade noise. Maybe it's because I haven't ripped these stickers off, so I'll probably do that. Okay, the stickers are off. And what is the dB level? It's about 55. So it's about 55. So doesn't seem to be that much louder than before. Now let's switch to the Lian Li fans. Definitely a little bit noisier. So if you do end up putting a radiator in front of it, it does feel like it's about 2 dB of a difference between this one. So this one says about 57. So honestly, I think the Lian fans are quite good if you are actually building this with a radiator. I obviously you can adjust the speeds for these things, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna do adding a little speed adjuster to see how quiet these things can go. Alright, I have a little Knockoff fan speed, I guess manual adjuster. I've used these on previous videos I have, and they're quite handy. I don't know why I have two, to be honest. Originally I thought I only have one, but that's okay. You know, the more the merrier, I suppose. So these ones, I'm gonna plug into the fan header over here. That is for me to adjust the fan speed. I do need power. So I kind of stole the power from this one. And I use it in my other unit because I lost it. But now I bought a spare from Amazon so I can power this thing. So now I can do this to adjust for fan speed. So let's go back to the Lian fan. And I can turn on this. So basically this is at 0 speed while I turn this one on. I turn that on. It allows me to, you know, speed it up, but then it can run at very, very low speed. Pretty much at the quietest level. So I'm gonna actually capture how low this will get. This is just too low to capture, right? So I'm gonna move it to about 50% speed. Do you guys hear anything? It's about 38 dB running at that speed. So with that said, let's unplug the Lian fan now. Remember, we started Lian fan first on the radiator. Supposedly, when you use this on the radiator, it's gonna make a little bit more noise. And we're gonna put these ones around the radiator. And keep my dial the same as before. I'm gonna plug in these fans in. Okay, so one more thing I noticed with these cheaper fans is as you put these fans vertically, they make these wobble noise. And as you turn them, the wobble noise goes away. And if you bottom mount these fans, they're pretty much making no noise. And if you top mount these, they'll make a little bit of noise. If you vertical mount, it's gonna make a little bit of noise. I think there's a little bit of tolerance issue with these fans, especially this middle one. See, if I stop the middle one, it doesn't do that. So that's just interesting finding. Now, putting this against the radiator, let's just capture the dBs it's gonna make. It's about 41. And see that? So that noise is kind of annoying. What if I reduce the speed? It is still there. So me personally, unless I put this inside a case and it kind of, quiets down the noise a little bit inside a case, I wouldn't recommend if you guys buy these fans. They're quite noisy. I'm not a fan of these. Obviously, I think your mileage might vary if you bought them, at a different time period or different pack. These problems might not exist for you, but for me, yeah, at a maximum speed, that sound goes away kind of. It's still there, but it's the fan blade will make more noise compared to the little, the little rubbing noise, I would say. It's like something it's rubbing against while it's spinning. Let's run both of these at the same time. You still hear that, eh? Let's speed it up. See together how much noise they make. At a slow speed, the Lian fans are just dead silent. These cheapo fans, they're just not that good. They make quite a bit of noise, and yeah, I wouldn't recommend to get these. So anyways, that's a little bit of fun video. I was gonna use these fans to build in one of my upcoming videos, but with that noise being there, I don't think I'm gonna use it. Anyways, if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you want to see me to cover some other videos, let me know in the comments below. And if you really like my video, please subscribe for the channel. We'll see you next time.